Hey friends, this is Mulligan Stu, CKUA Radio. That makes me Terry David Mulligan. The guest is Mariel Buckley. Now, here's the thing, Mariel Buckley, hello.
Hello.
It was one of the beloved Landreth brothers. I think it might have been David who said, I said, yeah, I was just talking to Mariel Buckley. He said, oh, Mariel. He said your name was Mariel. I went, no, it's Mariel. It's Mariel. He corrected me. So what is your family? How does your family say your name?
Well, David Landreth apparently doing the Lord's work because only him and my mother will correct people on how to say it. It is Marielle, and I'm too shy to do it. So thank you, Dave.
Call me Terry. Now, if I'm looking at your tour date, you're in New Mexico,
I am. I'm in Albuquerque right now.
Albuquerque. So this whole thing, this album, by the way, this album is fabulous,
Oh, thank you, Terry.
fabulous. Because I hear it with ears not compromised by other things. I just hear it as music. And I'll start with my favorite track in just a second. Strange Trip Ahead, which is what you're on now. Dreaming and Drowning, Distant and Devotion to a career spent adoring travel and the limelight, packing, unpacking, feeling sorry for myself. You have been unpacking and packing now for you're on a tour. Will the rest of the year look like this? What are you going to do?
Well, I pretty much perpetually packing and unpacking. This tour goes until October 5th, and then I'm quiet for the rest of the year doing some writing until January. I have a very large tour that I cannot announce until October 1st.
Get out of here.
Yes, but it's not mine. I'm
Wait a minute.
supporting someone
It's September
across.
25th. I'll embargo it. Where are you going?
Matt Anderson is taking me across Canada. So all the way from Glace Bay, Nova Scotia to Victoria.
That's right.
So I know I said, Terry, you got to come if you're around. But yeah, Massey Hall, bucket list venue, some pretty incredible spaces. So I'm very excited.
Very cool. Well done.
Yes. Thanks, Terry.
Where's the Christmas album?
Oh, we won't be getting one of those.
Come on.
You know, I think I could do it if I was allowed to not do Christmas songs. It's just not my time of year. It's for the kids. Let them enjoy it.
I mean, is it a miserable time?
Not anymore. I think I don't find the magic in it, or I haven't found it yet. I find it more with my nieces, my brother's kids, but it's not something that I get excited for every year.
Man, I'm so happy to be talking to you.
Why? Do you also hate Christmas?
No, no, I love Christmas. I love Christmas a lot, but I love Christmas music. I love finding the good stuff in Christmas music because there's some dreck that keeps coming back year after year after year. I'm looking for new ways of expression of how it feels to not only celebrate Christmas, but turn the corner into another year.
Yes, that's a fair one. And there are some good sentiments around New Year's and renewal that I think I could get on board with. But the actual sort of decking the halls, I don't know about that.
If I asked you to join us for the Christmas special with the Trans Canada Highwaymen, what song would you choose to sing?
Has to be a Christmas song.
Well, it'd be just representative of the time of year. Hope, charity, love, peace,
What
sadness.
about Christmas in Prison by John Prine?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
That's a great song.
Yeah. All right. This is so cool to be talking to you, and congratulations on this album.
Thank you.
We can trade riffs right now on my favorite track of all. I have a hunch that sometimes the key track to almost any album I listen to, new, is the last one on the album because it's a statement by the singer-songwriter, the creator. That is, if I have one last track, this is what's going on. This closes, not so much the opening and the sides and the hot AC stuff. The last track is a statement. And your last track is Lucky. I think it's yours. Did I read somewhere it's your favorite track as well?
It is my favorite one. I completely agree that it was, for me, a statement to close the album out. So I'm so glad that's how you saw it because I think lyrically it's the best song, and I think it's quite a good sentiment to end the record on.
I'm kind of surprised that your record people didn't decide that this was one of the singles, because for me it's a single.
I think so too, but you know what? That stuff is so confusing to me, and there's so many other algorithmic things at play. I typically just say, I will let you guys decide. I like all the songs, so whatever we put out, I'm gonna stand behind.
Did you tell them that Lucky was your favorite?
I did tell them it was my favorite, and they agreed it's a great one. But you know what? They went a different direction. We all agreed, and that's okay too.
I love the story of Lucky. I love the rhythm of the road of Lucky with that little drum riff in behind and the work and the dynamics up and down, the crescendo, bringing that vocal back, complete gem, absolutely fantastic. And the album title's in there.
It is, yeah. It's not apparently obvious anywhere else, which I haven't done that before. But I thought it was a fun way to nod at it, and I liked. It is one of my favorite songs. So I'm glad you said that.
So you're on the road now. Are you singing all these songs?
I'm singing most of them. I'm doing an opening set for a great songwriter named John Moreland, so I've got about 35 or 40 minutes every night.
Okay. I think I like the last four lines of Lucky. Uh,
That's one of my favorite verses I've ever written in any song.
Maybe we're all keychains, gas station postcards, old filters, and loose change in the ashtray of somebody else's car.
It's so funny because that verse was in another song I was writing, and that song that didn't go anywhere. It didn't fit. It wasn't working. I was so mad. And then at the end of writing Lucky, I was like, "Oh, that just needs to go and wrap up the album and the song." And it fits so well. So isn't that funny how recycling?
Hold on a second. We're recording down here. Thank you. Um, Vending machine. I'm going to ask you about a couple of tracks here because and vending machines getting all sorts of press. And I hear it for different reasons. I hear it for the harmonies. I love the harmonies. What were you doing? What were you after? Did you achieve exactly what you wanted?
Oh yeah, I mean, so that song was the first one I wrote. I wrote it at the end of 2023, and I'd been playing it live for quite a while. So my steel player and guitar player Ryan, who's an Edmonton guy, he has learned that song with me pretty much since inception. So those harmonies are very organic, and they belong pretty much solely to him. So I'm glad you like them because we sang the parts and then we doubled the parts again.
Do you want to explain the lyrics? Because they're dark.
Yeah, they're dark, but I think there's also a sort of like understanding. When I was living in Edmonton, Edmonton, they say there's only two seasons. There's winter and construction season,
Yeah.
and I was noticing all these folks that were working constantly, and at the time I was not on tour and I was driving back and forth on the Yellowhead a lot, and I was seeing these folks that were working on the asphalt and probably away from home for a long time, probably exhausted, and I sort of felt a kinship with them. And so the whole first kind of part of the song unravels as me watching these people smoking cigarettes while they're pouring the asphalt and understanding what it's like to be tired and away from home, um, but also being committed to the outcome, to whether it's the paycheck or it's I mean, for me it's the satisfaction, the joy. Um, so yeah, it's certainly dark, but I think it's more of a surrender, to the job. And I found a lot of peace in writing that song because I love my job. I've given up a lot of things for the job, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Have you attended a Jan Arden concert?
No, but I love Jan as a concept. She's one of the funniest people ever. But I've never been to a Jan Art concert.
The thing is that she will be funny as hell between songs, and then will go into a song that literally is a tearjerker.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you do some of that as well?
Oh, yeah, that's like the whole bit. You can't bring people to a show and devastate them for an hour and a half. It's horrible. I think Rose Cousins is a lot like that too.
Yeah.
My great hero Kathleen Edwards is also like that. I think there's just a lot of that understanding of giving people some levity to feel their feelings and then have a breath in and have a laugh.
Kathleen Edwards is having a hell of a year, isn't she?
As she should. She's like one of the best to ever do it.
Yep, writing those tunes. She's got a bag of tunes.
I tell you.
Vending machines getting lots of play. Good. Swim practice.
Hmm.
And you're sitting in one of four plastic chairs. I think beside a pool. Um, Tell me, swim practice. If you do it tonight, it's not your room that you're playing. It's the headliners, and you're the guest. Can you tell the difference? The audience reaction. Just can you vibe it? If it's your room, will you sing that song or these songs?
Yeah, I mean, typically, if it's not my room, I try to give a better cross section of a couple albums.
Yeah.
And I'll also, I mean, I don't like the word accessible as a whole, but I do try to piece in some lyrical content that will be more accessible from a solo performance standpoint. So I don't do this one on my own with an opening slot, but certainly in my own room, I would.
All right. I can't wait to see you in your own room, frankly. Nashville Now. I kind of prejudged it before I heard it. And I'm thinking, all right, well, everybody's going to Nashville or everybody's leaving Nashville. You did both, didn't you?
I did. I mean, I spend a good portion of my time there now, probably more than half the year. My partner lives down there, and I also am writing down there pretty frequently, just with folks in the community. I knew I needed to get out of my comfort zone a little bit in Alberta and Canada, as much as I love there and I'm so supported there. It's important to go stretch your legs. It's important to go and see people that are better than you and be reminded.
And when someone says, and you are,
I just say I'm a songwriter. I'm Mariel Buckley. I'm just here to learn. And that, you know what? Like I have no real I mean, everybody has an ego, but it's very easy for me to enter the role of student or learner. And so my time in Nashville has mostly been attending shows or meeting up with people for coffee and picking their brain and learning more about what I want to do.
what about group writing? What's happening with you in group writing? Like,
I mean, I don't know about group writing, but I have done a lot of like one-on-one or me and two other
okay,
people. And you know what? I don't always love it, but the act of writing and the act of thinking creatively is always beneficial. And I'm trying to work on that part of my brain.
as an aside, one of my best friends and one of the really best producer writer guys in the business, Colin Linden, is there
Oh man, big fan of Colin.
with his own studio in the backyard. I think you want to go visit Colin Linden, just if not for no other reason than to say hi and hi, how are you? Terry sent me, and let's write it too.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll set it up.
I mean, he's hanging with T-Bone Burnett these days.
No big deal.
Okay. Sick of myself. What does it want to say to us?
Well, that one's kind of funny because it in tone it's very serious, but the writing of it's a bit satirical. It's poking fun at myself and artists who spend so much time complaining about the job and people looking at us and how hard it is, and yet also constantly saying, "But don't stop looking at me." It's that battle that just never ends.
But it's also a song that then if people like it, you'll sing it every night for the next 3 years.
Of course I will. And in that way it's a bit cathartic because there is an element of you do it for 10 years and you have all these wonderful things happen, but you're also like, oh, but I just want other things to happen. And it's it's so counterproductive to think that way.
Marielle Buckley is with me. The the name of the album is Strange Trip Ahead. Um, Somewhere else. Is that the one with the $13 wine in it?
Yes,
Okay. I don't know where you get a $13 wine except maybe in the States.
Alberta.
Oh, do you? Oh,
Oh yeah.
ooh.
Sawmill Creek, Copper Point, perhaps a naked grape.
Oh no. Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. That was
Oh, I know.
I,
Uh,
I like the tune though.
yeah, that's a heavy one. That's
That's
a
a
heavy
nice
one.
tune.
Yeah, that was fun. I played around a lot with detuning my guitar on this record. So I play two songs are in open D, one song's in a version of of a drop D, but it's not quite drop D. So I was trying to stretch my legs as a musician on this one, and this riff kind of came to me, which I thought was very fun. I guess it's technically in 6/8, but it's a very interesting. It doesn't feel like a waltz at all. So it's an interesting tune. But I wrote it after a family friend of ours who's quite a bit older than I am. She's around my mom's age. Told me a story about when she was younger. A teacher kind of trapped her in a car when she was very young, and this would have been in the 60s or 70s. And I sort of thought about that, and then realized the more I thought about it, how many women and lots of people that I know, not just women, have these stories of feeling powerless at the hands of somebody older or with more power than them, and that's kind of what the song is about.
Hmm. Yes. I have way too many notes. Okay. Like, wait, I don't know why I do it because
You're thorough. We love it.
Okay. Hold on a second. You're 34 now?
35.
35. So is this a mature album? Because it's louder. There's guitars in there. There's some crunch. You made a reference to Goo Goo Dolls. Now, I didn't follow them down their road, but I knew what you were after.
I don't know about mature. I struggle to pin that on myself. Not because I don't think I'm mature, but I just, all I know is that it's a very accurate and apt snapshot of where I was at when I was writing it. In a lot of ways, I wanted to increase the volume, as you said, on this record because I feel like I want it to be one of my last records that feels this heavy.
Uh,
I'm ready to move into levity. I've lovingly been calling this kind of the last trauma dump because I think I have so many things to say, and I'll always be the same kind of songwriter. I'll always write from the same place, but um, yeah, I definitely had a flavor I was going for that had a bit more spice to it. So mature, I don't know, but
See,
certainly grounded.
I don't know. I can't even remember if you and I have been in the same room, but I care about you and I care about your life and I care about from the music, of course, but just from talking to you, I care what happens. And I'm reading these words that I wrote. I don't know why I write them because I can barely read them. My 20s were a booze-soaked romp through bad decisions and pushing love away. Gratefully, I left them behind. My last album found me nurturing the ascension into my 30s, confronting years of bad habits and self-destruction. I am so thankful for those songs. Those songs saved you.
They did, yeah. I mean, the last record, especially, and this one, are both, really important milestones of growth for me. This one, a lot more centered around my 30s and having some very big adult decisions to make.
Yes.
Um, and also realizing that those are big decisions too. But I don't think I would have been able to make them um, as calmly and as safely as if I hadn't sorted some of my stuff out from my 20s because there was a lot that I needed to work through.
You got through them.
Yeah, and I mean, what more can you ask for, really? I was very lucky. I had a great partner at the beginning of my 30s who really pushed me to grow emotionally and challenge myself a lot. And I wouldn't have a lot of the perspective that I do now without that relationship, even though it ended.
Has love found you?
Yes, it always
No,
does,
no, no.
Terry.
Real love.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it always does. And the thing is that it's always there. I think part of the return from leaving my 20s and having all that to work through is was also a pretty substantial return to my family. Because you spend all this time thinking nobody understands me, when a lot of the people that have known you your whole life have really just been trying to understand you. And so there's been a great acceptance and peace returning to my close family.
You know how bizarre it is that someone who has internal challenges shares them with thousands of people and sings this repeatedly one night after the other about their faults, their foibles, their hopes, their dreams, their plans, their disappointments, all of that stuff. what a life it is. However, it just might be healing.
I hope so. I think again, I'm sort of I'm having a big mental perspective shift with the records and with myself as I get older. And one of the things that I want from songs and touring and connecting with people is not to start a pity party for myself. It's to connect with people and to open up that channel for people to feel heard and understood. Because that's always what music has done for me. So if I can do that, then um, I really couldn't be more successful.
Do you know how good these songs are?
That's another thing I have to work on, Terry. Is that I know objectively that they're as good as I have written, and yet I struggle to be proud of myself. I struggle to believe that they're great, and but I know that I will get there.
I wonder how long that will take.
You know what? I sometimes think it'll take forever, and I'm okay with that too.
Can you carry this one now with you? That I'm telling you now, these are fabulous songs uh, with growth and redemption and love.
Oh, I'm very proud of these songs. Don't mistake me, but it is one of those things where you write them and they live with you, and then they're not even out yet. You and I are chatting before the record is officially released, and it's a bit of an odd limbo period where you're sort of looking at them as a whole and going, "Oh, geez, I hope somebody feel like gets what I was coming from, or feels the way that I felt." Because I don't even know if I remember. It's a very strange, to put it bluntly, it's a bit of a mind fuck, Terry.
Well, I, I want you to be happy, but that's me placing that on you.
Oh, and I am happy.
But I can tell you are happier. You are a more complete individual. I only get to see you every other year.
Once every album cycle.
So when you play Victoria, we'll celebrate that fact.
Yes, please come. I would love to see you.
I'll bring a $13 wine
Ooh.
from the Cowichan Valley.
Okay, that sounds much better.
um, do you have projects that you like dream projects that you'd like to get done? I wouldn't surprise me in the least if all of a sudden there's a musical or whatever. No, I'm just thinking. I guess you take it one album at a time, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time when I finished an album, I was back writing very quickly, which is a great feeling. I think partly being in Nashville has helped that, being around people who write all the time. So I've been very, I wouldn't say prolific, but I've gotten a few things down that I'm pretty happy about. I do have a dream for the next album or the next project. Um, and in my spare time, I've been pretty dedicated to my morning pages. And there is a part of me that really, really loves prose, just the written word. I've been reading a lot more in the last 2 years. Right now, I'm finishing The Grapes of Wrath again, and I'm near Route 66, so I'm going to go drive it today. But there's just something about like those great writers that hits such a deep part of me that I'm like, oh, I would just love to write something one day that's not a song, that's just like a story, or I don't know. It's a bit of a fleeting thought, but I do think about that pretty often.
Have you met any of your heroes?
You know what? I would say the greatest thing my last record brought me was this like incredible network of people that 10 years ago, if you had told me I would be able to text these people, I would not believe you. And it has changed my life. The gratitude and the joy that I feel being able to connect with some of these people who I look up to so much is just incredible.
You still like being on the road and in a motel or a hotel in Albuquerque?
I love that the most of all. And today I'm on a working farm. So you know what? It's pretty sweet.
Are there sunflowers in the garden?
There are sunflowers everywhere and cactuses.
So let's talk about the track Sunflowers, because I was trying to get a sense of, was this you in Edmonton on a balcony in the middle of what was it? Where was it?
Yeah, so when I was in the pandemic, I picked up my sort of now new favorite hobby of gardening and planting. During the pandemic, I planted my first garden and became obsessed. Um, and it was very interesting working through a lot of things out in the garden, but I was also in a relationship that was struggling in a lot of ways. And I remember, well, now I look back on it and I think how much we can plant things to look nice around things that are growing unruly, if that makes sense. So yeah, I like this song a lot. It's the baritone riff, I think, is just about the coolest thing on the record. But yeah, it's a song about trying to patch something that needs more than a patch.
Oh, here's this is a clever host segue. If you were a flower in a garden or a vegetable in a garden, what would you be? And
Oh,
I immediately thought turnip, but no, that's just me.
turnip. Sturdy. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I love to think I would be a sunflower. I know that's a bit, on the nose, but they are incredibly easy to plant. They require very little maintenance and they just grow. They just need the sun and even minimal water, and they will shoot up and stay all summer. And I think of myself as like, I don't need a whole lot, just a little bit of sun every now and again.
But doesn't a carrot do the same thing?
A carrot does do the same thing, and they're tasty.
They're not near as romantic as the sunflower, though.
No, it's true.
Yeah, artists don't go around painting carrots.
I mean, you never know.
Yeah, but sunflowers, you know. All right. Um, what I know that you in your liner notes, I think that's what I'm reading. There's that last line about "Take care, buddy. It's going to be okay." Your relationship with your fans, your friends. Tell me about that bond and how it's doing these days.
Oh man, I mean, my friends who are, I consider myself as a person with a lot of friends. In this job, you meet a lot of people. Um, Intimate, connected relationships are difficult to maintain. But I do feel that I have a good network of community in songwriters and artists and people all over the world. And in a lot of ways, I've never felt more connected to those people. A big challenge that I've worked through over the last 3 or 4 years has been feeling immense joy for other people, and removing myself from the equation of other people's success. And I know that might make me sound a certain way, but I think every artist struggles incredibly with that challenge, especially in today's day of social media where everything is on display full time. I have actively worked on the act of just really truly being happy for my friends who are creators, and it has brought me so much joy. And it's brought me closer to my listeners and myself, and so I think it's doing pretty good.
Speaking of social issues, you're you're traveling through a country, town to town, and the country right now is getting all of the headlines for all of the wrong reasons. How does it feel down there? What do you see? What do you feel? What do your bones tell you?
Well, I mean, fortunately for me, in a lot of the spaces that I'm in, especially when I'm doing a tour like this with John, who is so notably progressive,
Yeah.
I don't feel unsafe in these rooms. I feel a lot of people who think like you and me, who are confused and scared and upset about why there has been this incredible shift and divisive sort of intensity that has taken hold of a really diverse and eclectic and incredible. There's so much incredible history down here, and it's a shame to see the narrative be hijacked by, in my opinion, a very lesser half of people. Because the people that I'm meeting, you got to remember, there's 50% of people don't that aren't on board with what the is going on here. And thankfully, I seem to be running into more of those people. And if I run into others, you know, I would say that most of the time, unless I'm in some sketchy spots, which certainly has happened, but I've felt that way in Alberta. I think the only difference is that people aren't walking around with firearms, but
You're a Canadian in the United States. Does that carry any weight? Any second thought?
You know what? I feel I feel closer and I feel grateful to be Canadian more than I ever have.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call myself a patriot for a variety of reasons, but I do feel um, there's an incredible level of care for the citizens in Canada that does not exist down here. And I feel bad for a lot of the folks down there.
Do you think
Um,
you make any comments from stage or just leave it alone?
No, it's you know what, I don't feel that it's my place.
Yeah,
I don't feel that there are things I will talk about if people want to engage with me about them, but ultimately I think my job is to connect with people.
sure.
And I want to leave as many doors open as possible without compromising my values and my beliefs.
And frankly, some of them are there because they want to leave that behind and just let you take them away.
Totally. And a couple of the songs, as you know, make pretty pointed statements anyway. So I don't need to then go on a, a diatribe about it.
Okay. Uh, I'll, let me know when I can tell people about that project down the road with you and your musical friend. Will you be home for Christmas and New Year's?
I will be home briefly for Christmas, not New Year's.
Okay, because we want to know that our heroes freeze with us.
Oh, I'll be freezing. Worry not. My doctors and my resident address and all my friends and my family are in Canada, so I'll be up there
All
in
right.
solidarity.